Welcome to Coffee with Chaos. My name is James, and today, well, here's my coffee. Okay, and tonight, it's not really today. Tonight, I have some chaos. It's in the form of a box. It's not complete chaos. I kind of went through. I picked up a couple of boxes of comics, and I kind of went through them and sorted them by DC, Marvel, and then Independent. I'm not going to show all of them. I'm probably going to show half a box later tonight. But I was sitting here staring at the screen, and I watched it flip over to its showtime, and I just looked at it and went, oh, shit. And there you go. So each week, I pick a subject and talk about it. I do that before I get started on other things. And that's kind of like an introduction to the show. Some people do, you watch old TV shows where they did talk shows. The first part of it was a monologue. Well, this is sort of that way, but it's not intended to be funny all the time. How you doing, Dylan? So I got to thinking, what would be a good subject? And I thought about it for a while and didn't come up with anything. So I started watching videos, just in comparison to other things that I watch. Of course, there's the four people whose channels I promote on my conservation videos. All of those do very good work, and they do work that is consistent with what I think, the way I think. But then I watched a few others that are conservation, and they're doing things like blue LED until it's so white, it's whiter than what it was when it was originally released, and then they send it off to CGC, and all they care about is grade bumps. They don't care about the comic itself. They just want that higher grade. And I got to thinking about it. What's the difference between conservation and restoration in the comic world in particular? And in its simplest form, conservation is the act of making an item survive for future generations. That's conservation. Restoration is making an item look better with the goal to increase its overall value. Does that sound about right? Yeah. Conservation is generally done with materials that can easily be removed. In other words, what's been done to the item can be undone. Of course, there's exceptions to that. And restoration is generally done with materials restoration is generally permanent and very difficult to reverse. And depending upon the materials used, can actually do harm to the item. Now, what I want to talk about really is the different things we do to comics to conserve or restore them, and why I think of it as conservation or restoration. The opinions that I'm about to express are mine. And if somebody wants to disagree with me, that's cool. I don't mind. I don't care. It's all right. We're going to start off with the worst of the worst. Tape. All forms of tape fall under restoration. That includes archival tape, because it's difficult to take off once you put it on. It is considered safe for conservation and is accepted by the grading companies as conservation. But in reality, it's a restoration because you can't. I've used it. It's hard to get off of the paper once it's on there. Dry cleaning. Using such things as erasers, soot sponges, and other slightly abrasive items fall under both categories. Removing dirt from a comic may improve its longevity, but it's generally permanent and therefore should be considered restoring a comic to its previous state. I do it all the time. I dry clean comics all the time because it does remove that dirt. And dirt's bad. Dirt and dust, that's not good for paper. So it's technically restoration because you can't reverse it, but it's conservation because the dirt can do more harm than what you would expect. Don't worry. We'll get to moisture later. King of the moist. Stain removal. And stain removal is restoration. Yeah, people don't like that. Comics can be conserved without removing the stains. And a stain, and that's through the use of humidity and adding moisture, okay? And you're not actually removing the stain. When you remove the stain, you're restoring it to a previous state. A stain on a comic is actually part of its history. Yes, you made it on time, more or less. You're only 7 minutes late. You're doing good. Generally, it's considered conservation anyway, even though it's technically restoration. It's considered conservation because a lot of those stains can be harmful to the paper. So we want to remove them when possible. Still restoration, but it's conservation also. It's a double header. Wet cleaning or deep cleaning. That's a technique used to remove soiling and light staining, and again can fall into both categories. When done properly, it can enhance the visual appeal of a comic as well as increase its longevity by removing harmful, I have all this written down on paper, harmful contaminants from the paper. This, along with aqueous baths, are often used in preparation for leaf casting. So adding moisture is a good thing. Adding too much moisture, if you don't do it correctly, is a bad thing because you end up with stains, obviously. Next, we're going to go to aqueous baths next. And this is a conservation technique. Aqueous baths is conservation as far as I'm concerned. Always. It's a technique used to remove acids from the paper, as well as introducing alkaline buffers and replacing the sizing that may be lost during the baths. Well, this is generally considered a permanent alteration to the paper. It is nearly always results in increasing the comic's longevity. And while it may improve the visual appeal slightly, the goal is rarely just to improve the look. You don't put a comic in a bath just because you want it to look pretty. You put it in the bath because you're removing the acids generally. I don't put comics in a bath if I'm not trying to take the acids out. A lot of times I don't anyway. I just spray them down and squeegee them. You know, you do that enough times, you'll get it out. Leaf casting. While this does introduce new pulp to the comic to restore it to its original size and shape, or to fill in missing pieces, it has always been considered conservation and visually uses paper of similar color and texture to the original when possible. It can take a page which is in multiple pieces and make it whole, thereby increasing the overall longevity. It can easily be reversed. 9 times out of 10, if you do a bad leaf casting, you put it in water or spray it down with water and the leaf casting comes right off. So it's not a problem to get that off at all. If you go to the store and buy one, you're going to get one of the big ones. I got mine from Amazon in like a day. Agreed. I haven't said hello to everybody. I'll get to that. I'll go back up and say hi to everybody, okay, after I do this. Infill. A lot of people aren't familiar. Stupid phone. A lot of people aren't familiar with infills. But this is a process of adding paper, not to be confused with pulp, to an area that is missing and is considered restoration. I have a Superman comic that I've been working on for the last year and a half. Kind of took a break because I'm doing infills on it because it's missing parts of the color. So I'm printing those out in color and trying to get them just right so it looks decent. Really hard to do, but those will be infills and it will be restoration, not conservation. And one of the reasons I'm going that route is because it was also coverless and missing a couple of pages. So I printed out the pages I needed. I went ahead and I have a cover for it that's a reproduction cover. So yeah, it's definitely a restoration process and always has been. And I'll get back to it eventually and finish it. Tear seals. When done properly with rice paper and a starch-based paste, wheat starch, cornstarch, rice starch, any of those starches, vegetable starches, mixed with water make a good paste. This is considered conservation. This is also generally where the use of archival quality document repair tape is accepted as conservation, even though it's difficult to remove. The use of invisible or other tape is considered restoration. It's also bad for the paper, so don't do it. Color touch. Color touch is generally always considered restoration. Even though if you use a removable sealant over the area that you want to touch up, and you, in order to prevent it from soaking into the paper, and then use either colored pencils or acrylic media, that should be conservation because you can take that stuff off easy. But nope. Any type of color touch is considered restoration by the comic community, even though it really isn't. When done properly, it's conservation. Of course, it makes it look good, but you know. Pressing. Pressing is another method that can fall into both categories. When used in conjunction with the addition of moisture in the form of steam or humidity in order to reverse a spine roll, it's conservation. Unfortunately, most people they press their comics because they want them to look good. And I'm guilty of that. That's one of the big reasons why I have this stack of comics that I pressed. And I have and do 28 a week to make them look pretty. I want them to look good. I'm not sending them in to get graded. I'm not doing it to improve the grade. I just like the way they look when they're pressed. They also do it to remove small non-color breaking creases in order to improve the grade. This is where it crosses the line to restoration in my point of view. Still, it's generally accepted practice regardless of the reasons. When done improperly, the result can be what is called a reversion. This means the comic returns to its original unpressed state. And occasionally you will end up worse than when you started. You have to be real careful if you're doing a hot press, because a hot press, if you have it too hot, you can burn the pages. You can make those nice white pages turn brown. So you got to be careful about that. Finally, and this is probably a pet peeve of mine that is unwarranted, Yeah, well, some people do that to make money. Uh, I I want to make money, but I can't seem to. Blue light treatment. Now, in my opinion, a blue light treatment is a type of restoration. There's no proof that it will increase the longevity of a comic and is done solely to improve the appearance. 99% of the time, it's done to improve the appearance. I do not know if it is reversible, but I suspect that it is not. It will brighten the whites on a book, but can also fade some of the other colors. This is currently a very popular method to make stains fade to the point where they may not be noticeable and often include chemicals such as peroxide, which is acidic. I would recommend that if you are going to use a blue light treatment, do it before you do some sort of aqueous bath so you can get rid of the acids from the peroxide. Yeah, I meant to go to the post office today. I have another package there, and I woke up too late. My post office is only open till 10 o'clock, and what can I say? So that's what I have as far as my conservation and restoration ideas. And like I said, if people want to disagree with me, that's fine. Let's see who's here today. Salesboy Comics, first one in. Dylan, good to see you. Diecast Comics, second up. Just here browsing. Glad you could stop in. Kenneth Bird, how you doing today? And that's it so far. That's okay. We don't mind. Uh, like I said, that's just the way I am. I'm old school. Of course, I've been working on comics since the 70s. I think I did my first comic, uh, spine roll removal, or attempted a spine roll removal around 1973. I think I had just graduated high school the year before, and I was using an iron and some other things, and my mom wondered what the heck I was doing with her iron. So I explained it to her, and she went, "That's not going to work that way." Took her good towels back and gave me some baking paper, uh, parchment paper. Yeah, even back in the 70s, it was good to use on comics. Who knew? And that's, I would iron it flat and then line it up and then iron it again. I didn't know that you should moisten it first. Nobody knew that stuff. You didn't get water near your comic books. That was all there was to it. It was just something that wasn't done back then. I've been doing this kind of thing for a very long time. Everybody's probably wondering why I was holding these. I'm going to talk about that next because I just got these this week. Happened I was cruising eBay, and someone, a friend of mine was looking for a Web of Spider-Man, and I had it. But I decided to cruise eBay because I collect Web of Spider-Man. It's the only Spider-Man title I really collect. And I don't look for it all the time. It's just when I happen to think about it, I'll look on it. So I saw these listed. There's 12 of them with a minimum bid of $25. So I put in a bid, I think, of $28 or $30. I don't remember which. And I want it. I want it for $25. So there you go. That's why I was holding them. Let me show you what they are. I got Spider-Man 34. Of course, with shipping, it went up to about $34. But there's Web of Spider-Man 34 and 35. And I think I already have most of these, but not all of them. 36. And this is like a $20 book by itself, so I'm not really out anything. I got number 37. 38, and 39. And these are all in really nice shape. I would put them at very fine to near mint or better. 40 and 41. 42 and 43. 44 and 45. And that's why I held them up, because 25 bucks for these with that one comic that's worth like 20, that's a pretty good deal. That explains my thumbnail. Now I did buy some comics this week, and I'll go through some of them. But let me show you the first thing I saw when I opened the box. That was some of the extra large Marvel Masterpiece cards from 2023. And the ones I got the Hulk. It's a Thor. It's actually Mephisto, but it's on a Thor comic. Journey into Mystery, which is Loki. X-Men 1. Yeah, no, I've never heard of that one. I guess that's supposed to be from the new X-Men, but a Nightcrawler. And Avengers King Size Annual number 10. And I've never seen any of these covers, but it was kind of neat, and I liked it. Michael, glad you could stop in. Just in time for what I pressed. Some of what I pressed, of course, Michael will know about. He's seen them before. Some of them you guys have seen before, too. We'll start out with this one. This is a Charlton comic. Fighting Marines, number 139. Calmiro did the cover art. And it's from October 1978. And we have Archie and Friends, number 14, in a newsstand. This is from May of 1995. I don't know if this is a gold, what's his name, Goldberg, or a DiCarlo cover. I couldn't find information on the cover of that. Then we have this Boris Karloff. Now this isn't taped. Why isn't it taped? It's number 54, Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery, from June of 1979. And the reason it isn't taped is because this is one of the ones that I did as an experiment to try to remove the spine roll based on humidifying the comic and then pressing it. And it turned out really nice. And that was part of the reason why I went ahead and made that video. I mean, it's still a mid-grade comic because it has creases down here and stuff, but the spine roll is completely gone. And that worked out really well. Yeah, he said, Michael sends me some really strange books, and some of them definitely need work, but I love them. They're great. The next one is Tarzan number 40, and this one also had a bad spine roll. Notice I said had. Same method. I humidified the book, and then I put it in that cold press. just like I showed in my video. And it turned out really nice. And after that, I went ahead and did a hot press, a steam and a hot press. Turned out really nice. I'm very happy with that. Next up, Sergio Legrand's Brew number 20 from 1986, October 1986 in a newsstand. Richie Rich Fortunes. This is from September of 1974. Turned out real nice. And remember, after I do a hot press, 10 minutes in the heat, then I let it cool down for anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, depending on how quickly it cools down. And then it goes in a cold press for 40 hours, 36 to 40 hours. Every one of these comics. Aquaman Zero from 0 Hour. This is 1974 or 1994 October. Who did it? Marty Egeland did the cover on that one. American Flag number 18. Of course, Howard Chaykin did the art. This is March 1985. Got Robotech, the Macross Saga, number 31, September 1988. And of course, Mike Leakey did the art on all of these. No, 36 to 40 hours is plenty. You don't have to go longer than that. I do occasionally go longer. But now, if it's just a cold press, if I'm not doing a hot press, if I'm just doing a cold press, then I'll go 4 to 10 days, yeah. The treasury size and the magazines that I don't cold press, I'll press those for a week, sometimes more. But that's a dry press. That's just, you put them in, it's just pressure. Yeah, but generally, anything over 24 hours is enough, but more is better. And optimum for me turns out to be between 36 and 40 hours. So that's why I go that way. Longer than that doesn't seem to make any difference. Shorter than that, sometimes I'll get a little reversion, but it's very rare. Anytime I go over 24 hours in a cold press, I almost never get reversion. And most of the people that I've seen that complain about getting reversion, when you ask them how long they cold pressed it afterwards, they just say, well, I left it in the press for 8 hours. That's not long enough. Next we have The Glass Mountain, Classics Illustrated Junior number 545-545. Yes, this is a first print. And it is from December of 1959. We've got Tales of Sword and Sorcery, Dagar the Invincible. Number 1 from October 1972. That is the cover date. And George Wilson did the cover. I like that cover. That is a cool cover. I like George Wilson's artwork. He doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion. A lot of the fantasy and horror, science fiction from Gold Key was George Wilson. Then we have from 1951, a Major Impact Space Ace, #1 from 1951. Bob Powell did the artwork on this cover. Is Werewolf by Night 31 from July of 1975. Of course, Bill Kane did the art. One of my favorite Werewolf by Night covers. And all the ones I'm showing right now, I did feature in the Friday challenge Mountains. So, which means the next one is Jungle Adventures #10 from 1963. Ross Andrew did the cover. And this is the first Jungle Adventures, even though it's #10. It had a different title before that. And this next one has a Joe Kubert cover. You guys have never seen this before, so act like you're surprised. Our Army at War 269, all nice and pressed and good, and yeah, it actually turned out really nice, considering what grade did I go. It's a low grade comic, regardless of all the work I did to it. It will always be a low grade comic, but I'm happy with it, and it's going to proudly stand in my collection for years to come. And this is from June of 1974. And I do believe I got it from Michael Mayron, which is why he knows so much about how bad it was. Next up, we have The World Around Us, #21, American Presidents. And this cover was done by Larry Myers. It's a painted cover by Larry Myers. And this was printed, or this has a cover date of May of 1960. And of course, it was released by Classics Illustrated. Next up, this was my #1 for the Mountains covers. From May of 1988, we have The Spectre, #14 by Charles Vess. Gorgeous cover. And of course, he's standing on a mountain of skulls, which is why I included it. Wonderful cover. And it turned out nice. From Eclipse, these are back to my normal run. Man of War, #1. Let's see, this was done by Brent Anderson. The cover's done by Brent Anderson. And it is from August of 1987. I like Eclipse. I'm getting more and more into the Eclipse stuff. Of course, I had to include Jack Kirby. Captain Victory and the Galactic Rangers, #2. And that's from January 1982. Always have a Kirby. Here we have a Grand Prix, #19 from Charlton. This is from May of 1968. Let's see, where is it? Jack Keller did the artwork on this cover. Yeah, you can see his name right there. Pretty nice looking comic for a late 60s Charlton. Charlton comics didn't hold up very well. Patrick, glad you could stop by. Archie and Friends, #18. Stan Goldberg did the cover on this one. And this is from May of 1996. Yeah, I think it did too. Next, we have Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery, number 58. This is from May of 1974. Luis Dominguez did the cover on this one. Not that familiar with his artwork, but looking at this, I like it. We have Tarzan number 41, of course, photo cover from February 1953. Turned out reasonably nice. Daredevil 66 from July of 1970. Marie Severin did that cover. And of course, that's the cover that kind of got, that's one of the covers that got me into reading Marvel Comics back in the 70s. We have Sad Sack's Funny Friends, featuring the General. This is number 69. George Baker did the cover, and it's from May of 1967. Another one that turned out really nice. Got Arian, Lord of Atlantis, number 15, and this is a really nice copy. So why would I put it in mid-grade? I mean, there's like one or two pieces of bits of spine stress, and that's it. But I marked it in mid-grade, and the reason is because of this red slash through the price. For me, that was a that just dropped it to mid-grade. Mid-grade to me is, where's my sheet? Very good to very fine. It's mid-grade. Well, very fine minus to mid-grade. Actually, that's not right either. It's a very good plus to very fine, I consider mid-grade. Very fine plus to gem mint is high grade. Low grade, I consider to be very good to fair, 1.0. Anything below a 1.0 to me is not really collectible. So I don't consider, I don't give it a grade. I give it a grade and no grade. Next up, we have American Flag number 30. Of course, Howard Chaykin did the art. This is June of 1988. This is a high-grade copy. It was a high-grade copy before I pressed it. And finally, Sundance Kid number 3. From September of 1971. Dick Ayers did the artwork. Now, this does have a really bad water stain on it. I'm not going to try to fix it. Like I said in my kind of intro, it's part of the history of the comic. I did humidify it to get some moisture into the pages, so it's nice, and it's, the pages are supple. They're not bad. Like I said, Dick Ayers didn't come back. The Aryan Lord of Atlantis, by the way, was the cover art for that was Jan Dushoma. That's what I pressed. Not very impressive, but I pressed it. got all that information here. I actually keep these. I don't know why. I'm a pack rat. What can I say? Let's see what we got. I'm going to do about half a box. I just got these yesterday. I went through them really quick and sorted them by publisher and Marvel, DC, and independent. I have duplicates of a lot of them, so you might see the same comic more than once. If there is a comic that you see and you are interested in obtaining it, reach out to me. Let me know, and we'll make an arrangement of some sort. You can make me an offer, and if I like the offer, I'll take it. If provided it's not going in my collection. Obviously, if I plan to keep it for my collection, I'm not going to let you buy it from me. I'm going to start off with a variant edition of Daredevil 10. This is Legacy number 656. And the reason I looked down is because I have to, like I said, there's duplicates. We have King Size Conan number 1 variant, and I guess that's Eastman that did that cover. I can't read most of this. Lives of Wolverine number 4. Daredevil 300. I don't think I have this one, so it'll probably end up in my collection. Uncanny X-Force final issue number 35. Daredevil number 2. Daredevil Woman Without Fear number 2. Of course, that's Elektra, but you know. Daredevil number 2, Gang War, variant cover, and I have a couple of those. There's X-Force number 2. It has a Generation X card, and it's a newsstand. It's a Moonlight facsimile edition, variant cover, number 1. Blood Hunt, number 505. Exo Swords Creation, Part 1 of 22. Sinister War number 2, variant cover. I might have to keep that. I like that cover. Pretty cool. Daredevil number 10. Over the Edge number 5. Nice. I wonder what I would assign grade to that. Go back and take a look at it. I think if this one were graded, it'd come back about a 9.4, 9.6. That's what I would grade it at. But then I only grade high grade, so I would grade it a high grade. Got Wolverine Origins number 29. Daredevil Annual number 1. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters number 2. There's another Daredevil number 10. Punisher Summer Special number 3 in a newsstand. The Immortal Hulk number 50. That's a thick book. $10 cover price. It is a variant cover. Incredible Hulk number 46. Blood Hunt number 3 with a warning: explicit content. Moon Knight number 1. X of Swords Creation 1 of 22, and this is a variant cover. X-Force 36. Oh, nice. Infinity Crusade number 1 with She. Shiny. 90s goodness or badness, whatever you want to call it. Uncanny X-Men 317. Ghost Rider number 45 in a mid-grade. This is Bronze Age. I would say probably around 1980, 79 or 80, somewhere in there. X-Men Unlimited number 1. This was actually a pretty good series, as I remember. Silver Surfer number 99 in a newsstand. Guardians of the Galaxy number 5. Iron Man number 199. Iron Man 290. It's more of that 90s glitter gold foil crap. It's from 1993. The Wolverine Saga, book 3. Wolverine Origins, and plus the first appearance of Deadpool, which obviously that's not the first appearance of Deadpool. Well, actually, I think they reprint the first appearance of Deadpool in here. Wolverine Origins 39. The bad part about that is even in a 9.8, is it worth the amount of trouble you spent on it and then paying to get it regraded? If it's for your own collection, of course it's worth it. But if it isn't for your own collection and you're just trying to make a profit, how much profit are you going to get off of a CGC or any X-Force #2? Because they're common. Well, the newsstand ones aren't too common, but they are around. You can find them if you look. Amazing Spider-Man #50. Amazing Spider-Man 51. Amazing Spider-Man 52. Silver Surfer Black #5. Iron Man 289. See any really older ones anymore. Oh, there's a few of them that are older. Just not seeing them. Oh, there you go. There's an older one. The Invaders #7. Got a tear and somebody marked through the 25¢. That's a shame. Moon Knight #8. Ghost Rider #12. I mean, it's a nice cover, but the only reason I'm going to do that Ghost Rider is because I sold my Ghost Riders. I sold them all. Made some money off of them. Uncanny Avengers #1. Uncanny Spider-Man 4. Carnage #8. Not a huge Carnage fan, but the rats are cool. The Carnage rats are cool. And the back cover is cool too. Deaths of Wolverine #1. Oh, okay. It's Deaths of Wolverine and also Lives of Wolverine. This is also a #1 variant cover. Here's #4. I got a couple of those. And here's another #1 and another #1 variant covers. And the Stormbreakers variant cover, number one. Carnage number 8. This is Spider-Man 259, and this is a reprint. What do they call it? A facsimile edition. The freaking reprint. Giant size Silver Surfer. Giant size 50th. Number one. I guess that's for the 50th anniversary of Silver Surfer. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance, number 5. Yeah, I know. I'm going to check and see if it's made it to my post office in a few minutes. After the show, I'll check and see if it's made it to my post office. It's been in Salado for a couple of days. There's Avengers 5. Giant size Daredevil, number 1. Maybe this is the 50th anniversary of the giant size. Because, you know, they did all those giant size back in the 70s. You know, like giant size Man Thing. There was 5 giant size Man Things, by the way. That's one of the ones that I have all of scattered around in my collection. I know I have them all. I just don't know where they are. There's another giant size Daredevil 1. Amazing Spider-Man 40 variant. This is Daredevil Gang War number 1 variant, Stormbreakers variant. It's actually a really nice cover. Daredevil Gang War 4. Got a couple of those. Amazing Spider-Man 43. Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt number 3. What will happen is they'll have to send it back to Austin, and then Austin can forward it to the correct post office. It's Avengers number 5. This is also Avengers number 5. This is a Walmart variant. I can tell. So all the Walmart variants look like this on the back. We've got Ben Reilly Spider-Man number 1. Got a couple of those. Black Widow and Hawkeye number 4 Scotty Young variant. That's kind of Scotty Young's artwork cracks me up. Got Carnage Forever number 1. We've got a couple of those. I will go to the post office tomorrow. Edge of Spider-Verse number 3. You want that one, Michael? I mean, I like it, but it's not a big deal. Okay. Amazing Spider-Man 42. Hopefully there's another one of those in here. If it isn't, well, I'll send it to you anyway. Invincible Iron Man number 20. Since I'm not really collecting that, so that would just be a one-off for me, a cover grab. That's it. Invincible Iron Man 19. And I think this is the variant cover, and then I have the regular cover as well. Invincible Iron Man number 11. I have two of these number 20s. This is Fantastic Four number 38. Stormbreaker's variant. That is a cool cover. I don't collect Fantastic Four, but I might have to keep this one because I just like the cover. It's cool. Moon Knight 3, City of the Dead. Marvel Zombies, Black, White, and Blood, number 4. Moon Knight 13. Moon Knight 14. Iron Man 10. Iron Man 10 variant. Oh, this is another cool cover. Timeless. Timeless number 1 variant. Stormbreaker's variant. Very nice. I like that. Deaths of Wolverine number 1. Got a couple of those. And then I have a variant cover. And then Lives of Wolverine number 1. Ghost Rider number 3. Final Vengeance number 3. The Immortal Thor number 4. Immortal Thor number 8. Edge of Spider-Verse 3. Elektra, Black, White, and Blood number 2. Fantastic Four 37. It's another Walmart variant. Fantastic Four 40. Next week, I'll be showing some DC comics. I have a whole, or almost full long box of DC comics that I got in this same deal. I traded him a few comics and paid him some cash and got the comics. Yeah, I agree. Gambit #2. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance #2. Moon Knight #8. You know, I could. Put these back in here. And I'll shift the boxes around and I'll show some of the DC comics. If everybody's okay with that. And then I can show more of these next week and more of the DC next week as well. Or maybe I'll show DC and Independent next week. All right, we'll show some DC comics since somebody asked for. We can stick this in here. Where they go? They're not in any particular order. I haven't gone through these to see if I need any for my collection. So if it's a double that's in here, I'll probably part with one of them. If it isn't, it depends on if I already have it. Starting out with Batman 75. Oh, that's not a DC comic. Yeah, that's not a DC comic. Let's stick that back in the box. Superman 675. Nolan Ryan in the winning pitch. DC Comics and Sports Illustrated. All right, Patrick, just for you. Let me find it. I'll just show all of these. These are some of the independent stuff that I definitely think I want to keep. What we have here is issue number 1 of Barbarella. The interior art is not, it's bad. I don't like it, but I love the cover. That's number 1. There's number 3. There's number 4. There's Jennifer Blood. I'm not sure how that got in there. What's this doing here? Nobody likes this stuff. Yeah, I know it is. That's why I'm keeping it. Oh, there's the one that you told me to go back to. Yeah, well, how about this one? And just for giggles, Michael, I told you I had some spawn. Yeah, those are the non-DC. I'm definitely keeping. There's some others, but yeah. All right. Here's a Glenn Fabre, a Lobo, Portrait of the Victim. Yeah, we're back to DC now. Batman 500. This is the die cut one. I didn't have this. I sold my copy of it a while back and regretted it. But now I have another one, so I'm happy. Harley Quinn 25th anniversary special number 1. Harley Quinn Rebirth number 1. Amanda Conner. I like Amanda Conner's art. Everybody's gone crazy over Amanda Conner now, but I liked Amanda Conner back in the 90s when she was doing Vampirella. Matter of fact, I have a sketch of Vampirella somewhere by Amanda Conner. Batman 48. Superman 22 die cut. Flash 54 variant. Action 687 die cut. Firestorm number 23. Oh, now this is very cool. This is so cool. I got to take the tape off of this bag because somebody has just messed it all up. Okay, we'll leave that on there. But this is, yeah. It's a Robert Bell bag. That comic has probably been in that bag since 1984. And it is, of course, the first appearance of Bite. Very cool. I'll be putting the bag in its own special bag and keeping it separate. Batman White Knight #3. Really glad I got that because I read the first couple. Adventures of Superman 501 die cut. Superman 78. Harley Quinn 42. Harley Quinn 75, and it has, of course, Harley Quinn and Punchline. One has a knife behind her back, the other has a baseball bat behind her back. Suicide Squad Rebirth #1. Harley Quinn 68. Harley Quinn Poison Ivy #5. Harley Quinn Batman Curse of the White Knight Book 7. Harley Quinn Poison Ivy 5 variant cover. Batman, the New 52, #37. Harley Quinn 43. Harley Quinn 40. Harley Quinn 57. A lot of Harley Quinn. Catwoman 14. Nice cover. Who did that? Oh, Art Germ. No wonder I like it. Wonder Woman #9. Joker Last Laugh #4. Batman 102. Harley Quinn Rebirth #1. Batman Dark Knight #19. Part of the New 52. #24. Batman the Dark Knight. Harley Quinn, the Holiday Special, #1. Nice Amanda Connor cover. This is one of my favorite Catwoman covers right here. Another art term. That is #6. Yeah, I move stuff around. Uh, yeah, why not? Why not move stuff around once in a while? Actually, I'm going through all these comic boxes over here, trying to see if maybe my Tomb of Dracula number 10 ended up in one of those. I'm still looking for it. Catwoman 17. Harley Quinn. This is New 52. Harleen Quinzel is Harley Quinn. Issue 16. Number 16. Catwoman 34. You don't really want me to answer that, do you? Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt was probably the most sensual of all the Catwomen. Uh, and Julie Newmar, just because she's drop dead gorgeous. But as far as sensuality goes, Eartha Kitt would be my favorite. Batman 35. Harley Quinn 19. Batman Little Gotham. Okay, this one goes off to the side because I'm going to read that before I go to bed tonight. Harley Quinn number 10 from the New 52. Yeah, that's another Amanda Connor cover. Batman 34. Harley Quinn 32. Harley Quinn Infinite Frontier number 1. So that's a recent comic. All of these are recent comics to me. I mean, anything for me, anything published after 1990 to me is recent. Anything between 1970 and 1990 is current for me. Anything before 1970, that's my stuff. That's what I grew up reading. That's when I was a kid. Harley Quinn number 14. I couldn't tell you nationally. For me, my number one best-selling item was probably Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. After that, Magic the Gathering. Then comic books, uh, collector supplies, and action figures would be at the bottom. I didn't sell a lot of action figures. I had tons of them, but they just didn't sell very well. And baseball, football, basketball, sports cards, non-sports cards, those sold really well too. But my best-selling cards were Magic the Gathering. Uh, I'd get 2 or 3 cases, and they'd be gone in a week. Harley Quinn 21. Batman White Knight number 4. Batman New 52 0. We'll do one more handful, and I think that'll be it. Um, I would consider it but it didn't end well for me. And, not because I mean, I was making money at the end of my time, but unfortunately, a greedy landlord wanted to make sure I didn't make money. So it's not something I like to think about a whole lot, but I will consider it. I will consider doing a show about when I had a store and the business aspect of it, and what I learned, how I would do things differently if I could afford a store now. And I could. I mean, I have enough inventory. I could open a store tomorrow. Uh, but it would be a matter of finding the right place. Uh, I'd have to find a good location. I would prefer to own the building. When you don't own the building, you're throwing money away. So, Batman '88. Batman Dark Knight, number 5. Aquaman Volume 1, The Trench from the New 52. This is a trade paperback. Aquaman 80th Anniversary. 2000s a variant cover. And Aquaman 80th Anniversary 1960s variant cover. Doomsday Clock variant number 1. I don't think I have this cover. I should. I think I've got all of them, but I don't remember that. Batman Dark Knight 25. Batman Dark Knight number 4. Batman the Dark Knight number 8. Batman the Dark Knight number 9. Batman the Dark Knight number 10. Batman the Dark Knight number 29. Number 28. Harley Quinn 72. Is this a wraparound cover? I'm hoping it is. Nope. What a shame. Harley Quinn 52 variant cover. That's a cool cover. Harley Quinn 66. Batman 102. Batman the Joker War Zone 1. Got the clown killer there. Batman 60. Harley Quinn number 8. Not from the New 52. Harley Quinn 41. Also from, well, no, this is just Harley Quinn 41. And Superman 77 from Kilo 4. I think I'm going to stop it there, because I want to read that comic. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I'll show more of these. You have to mix it yourself. And there are different grades of methyl cellulose. There's food grade, and then there's pharmaceutical grade, and they're chemical grade. Yeah, I'm missing a few of the one where he dies. I've got the full run. I've got most of them in both newsstand and direct. But there's a few of the reprints of the actual Death of Superman comic that I'm missing. I think I'm missing the first reprint, which is the second printing, and then the fourth reprint, which is the third printing. Or fifth printing, or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm missing a few. But yeah, methyl cellulose, like I said, there's a couple of different grades you can get. All of them work about the same. What I have some of the food grade because I had it for canning. I'm not doing canning anymore, so I figured I'd use it for this. Yeah, well, I have a copy of the platinum one somewhere, I think. Yeah, I got that directly from DC because I was selling comics, so they considered me a retailer. That was before I had my store. They considered me a retailer, so because I was doing shows and I'd buy a bunch of them. I've got a couple of special edition things like that squirreled away in my collection somewhere. But like I said, that's going to be all I show you tonight. I'll show you more from these boxes next week, possibly the week after that too. I will show you a couple more of the non-DC. I decided to keep one of each of these. So, yes, we have. I decided to keep a King Spawn because there's like 4 or 5 copies in these boxes. So I decided to keep one. This variant Gunslinger Spawn, I decided to keep a copy of that. This one, I decided to keep a copy of that. I can't find my fan appreciation issue of She, but #1. So yeah, I'm going to keep that. That's Billy Tucci. I'm here for you to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. I have no problem with that whatsoever. No. No, they didn't. But I do remember one convention that I went to that had, it was before Superman came back. And I was familiar with the DC editors and publishers, or the editors and the writers and artists. I knew quite a few of them. And so I asked point blank, when are you bringing back Superman? He looked at me and he said, I can't tell you that, but happy birthday. And sure enough, on my birthday, which happened to be on a Thursday that year, Superman returned. Yeah, here's one that I'm going to keep because I like the cover. Not a high grade copy. It's got quite a few dings in it and spine stress, but I like it, so I'll hang on to it. I'm going to keep that because that's kind of a cool looking cover. And of course, I'm keeping this because Elvira. And I like this cover, and I'm not sure why. It's called Phantom Star Killer, and it's #1 by Black Caravan. Probably not worth the amount that it originally cost. It's from Scout Comics. But I like the cover, so I'm going to hang on to it. And those are the other ones that I'm keeping. Yeah, the comics I show and the toys I show and things like that I show, that's just to keep the fill. But if you have questions, I have no problem with people interrupting the shows and asking questions about unrelated stuff, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. We just want to keep politics and religion out of it. As long as you don't go into politics or religion, we're good. Yeah, exactly. I think it's cool, so I'm going to hang on to it. Who knows? There might be a second copy in there. If there is, then, well, I'll let one go. But that one I'm going to keep because it's cool. The guy that I got these comics from brought them here to my office. I didn't have to go. I thought I was going to have to go there, but he brought them to me. He's the same guy that I got these 3 from. So yeah, kind of cool. I'm moving stuff around. I've got other shelves in other rooms that I want to put stuff on. So once everything is cleaned up, maybe I'll give you a tour of my other comic room. That'll be interesting. It's just boxes and boxes of comics on shelves. And boxes of shelves and boxes and boxes. And then, of course, it has a workstation with my overhead light and camera, and where I do make videos like that, and some other junk. I need to clean that up. But, maybe someday I'll give you a tour of that. I'm not going to tell you what's in the boxes, but there's a lot. And that room doesn't have all of them because there's comics in this room. There's comics in the room behind me. There's comics in the room behind me. So the only place I don't have comic books. Oh, no, wait. Yes, I do. I was going to say I don't have any comic books in my kitchen, but then I thought about it, and I do have a box of comics in my kitchen. Got to get them out of there. What is that box case of Patrick? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about with that one. Yeah, actually, I do the conservation videos in my room that has the comics that I actually collect in. But I have some shelves right here, not these back here, but right here, just to my left, that has a lot of comics on that one too. Yeah, nobody decided they wanted those, so I put it back in there. Uh, I still have that case of Elvira figures. I have a case of Spawn figures, a case of Elvira figures, a case of what is it? Chucky and his bride figures, and a bunch of other stuff. I think I have a case of Xena. I don't know. I've got so much stuff. That's in the room behind me. Not this room, but the next room. Well, actually, there's this room, my bathroom, and another room behind me that I use for storage. And I call that my stuff room because that's where I stuff all the things that I don't know what to do with. Yeah, I showed the Spawn figures and nobody actually wanted them. I used to. We don't have anybody come for trick or treat. I live in the country, and my closest neighbors, let's see, my next door neighbor has a son who's getting ready to go to college. My neighbor across the street has a son that's in his third year of college. Now, a mile down the road, there's some neighbors that have kids, but they're not going to walk all the way up here. I have a case of Xena. I have a case of Chucky and Tiffany, yes. I don't know what's in the case of Xena because I've never opened it, so I have no idea what's inside of it. Uh, Maybe I'll dig it out and see what's inside of it. Maybe I'll show it here. Maybe I'll show it next week. Oh, yeah. I know I have that. I know I have a Callisto. It's too bad this is broken. Yeah, too bad that's broken, huh? But yeah, I know I have a Callisto figure. I should have an extra one that's not in the case. I'll have to look. Uh, I'll check that this week, and if I have it, I'll let you know. No, I can fix it, but I need the proper type of cement to do it. There's a special type of cement that you use for that sort of thing. And then there's a couple of little specs that I'd have to fill. So, yeah, that's it's on my list of things that I want to fix one day, and maybe do the infills here where it's got these chips, and then yeah, and then once I get it all fixed, I'll throw it at somebody. It's got a chip on the inside that needs to be filled and taken care of too. Yes, I did. I showed them last week. In fact, one of them, this one, is one of the ones that I did my humidity spine roll fix on. Unfortunately, it's missing the centerfold, but the stories that I could read were pretty cool. And then I think these were the other three. Yeah. This one needs to have its spine roll fixed also. So yes, I got those. Oh, you're talking about the larger action figures, not the little ones. Yeah, I have a couple of those too. I have a couple of Star Trek figures too. Uh, who knows? I might have one you need. I'll have to see. I'll look for those also. Don't have a lot. I have 2 or 3, I think. But maybe you'll get lucky. Okay, I think that's going to be it. I'm going to take off. My coffee's almost. My coffee is now empty. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Always here on Wednesday night. It's the place I want to be. It's the place I like to be. And if any of you ever want to come on, just reach out to me on Instagram. I'll have a guest. I don't care. I don't mind having guests. But take care, everybody. Have a great week. I'll be dropping another video on Friday about that Classics Illustrated Junior I'm working on, number 511-576. And then who knows what I'm going to release on the weekends. I don't know. We'll find out. And take care, everybody. Bye.